Amatsuyu Kisaragi was just a normal, lonely high school boy with no girlfriend. One day, the student council president, Sakura Akino, asked him to stay with her as her right-hand man. Amatsuyu already thought well of her, and working with her made him respect her even more. When Sakura talked about going on a date, Amatsuyu started to hope for something special. They met by the river, talked, and Sakura asked him to sit with her on a bench. Amatsuyu thought something important would happen, but Sakura clearly told him that she had a huge crush on Amatsuyu's best friend, Taiyu Oga. She liked Taiyu since the day he helped his team after losing a baseball match. Sakura asked Amatsuyu to be her matchmaker and help her get together with Taiyu. Amatsuyu felt bad, but he still agreed. The next day, Amatsuyu decided to forget about Sakura and spend time with his childhood friend, Aoi Hinata, whom he had ignored the day before. He was with Aoi, but he kept thinking about what happened yesterday and felt embarrassed. Aoi noticed his mood, and when Amatsuyu didn't tell her, she tried to cheer him up and make the day fun. Slowly, Amatsuyu started to feel better and enjoyed the day. He bought her good food, gifts, and made the day special. At the end, they sat on a bench again, and Aoi also told him that she was in love with someone. Amatsuyu got scared because it sounded just like Sakura's story. Aoi also said that she loved Taiyo since that baseball day. She also asked Amatsuyu to be her wingman. Amatsuyu was stuck, but he still said yes. At night, Amatsuyu threw things in his room in anger because his plan to live a normal high school life as a nice guy was ruined, and he felt like girls never noticed him. Then something clicked in his mind. Both Sakura and Aoi liked the same guy, Taiyu. Amatsuyu thought maybe this was his chance to get one of them for himself. The next morning, while going to school, Aoi came to Amatsuyu excitedly and talked about making a plan. But Amatsuyu told her directly that he was also helping Sakura. The part that went into the Deku and All Might talk was cut off, and the story did not continue from there. At school, Amatsuyu entered the class alone, and everyone's attention turned to him. Taiyu also noticed that Amatsuyu's behavior had changed. Then Aoi suddenly entered the class and tried to act normal but failed. Amatsuyu made an excuse about the student council and left, leaving Taiyu and Aoi to talk, just as he had planned. Later, Amatsuyu met Sakura in the student council room and told her that he was helping both sides. After making Sakura trust him, he explained his plan. Then, in the hallway, they met Taiyu, and Sakura got nervous and said in the wrong way that she wanted to be friends. Amatsuyu quickly fixed the situation and explained that Taiyu was an important junior, and getting to know him would help Sakura with her council duties, so the problem was avoided. At lunch, Amatsuyu got tired of both girls' requests and went to the library for some peace. There, Sumireko Senshokuen came to him. Amatsuyu usually avoided her because she was often sarcastic, but this time, she said she knew about Amatsuyu's secret promises to Sakura and Aoi. She explained that she had been secretly watching him and had proof which she could show Taiyo. She also said she knew about the park bench where the other two girls had talked to Amatsuyu. After that, Sumireko said she liked someone. Amatsuyu hoped she would say Taiyu, but Sumireko clearly said she liked Amatsuyu. When Amatsuyu started to refuse softly, Sumireko said she was not impressed by his nice guy act and liked his real self. Amatsuyu then told her directly that they would never be together. Sumireko made it clear she did not want to date him. She just wanted Amatsuyu to come to the library every day at lunch and talk with her. Amatsuyu, forced to protect his secrets, agreed. The next day, Aoi bought 2 movie tickets and told Amatsuyu to set up her date with Taiyu. Amatsuyu went to Taiyu and told him that he got 2 movie tickets from a friend and had already watched the film. He said instead of wasting the tickets, Taiyu should take them and go with someone like Aoi. Aoi immediately joined the conversation and agreed, but Taiyu suddenly gave his ticket to Aoi and told her to go watch the movie alone. Amatsuyu quickly reminded Taiyu that his baseball schedule was very tough and he should take a break. After that, Taiyu agreed and accepted Aoi's invitation to go watch the movie together on Saturday. Later that day, Sakura came to Amatsuyu and said that she had made a homemade lunch for Taiyu. She asked Amatsuyu to arrange for her to have lunch with Taiyu after class. Amatsuyu made a plan and told Taiyu that he needed help with some student council paperwork so he could bring him to the council room as an excuse. In the corridor, Sakura nervously went to Taiyu and formally asked if he would like to have lunch on the rooftop. Clouds were gathering above, but Amatsuyu stepped in and said this kind of lunch would make their friendship stronger. Sakura also said she brought enough food for 2 people, including Taiyu's favorite grilled pork dish. At that, Taiyu told Amatsuyu to join them too. Amatsuyu quickly refused and said he already had plans to meet someone else for lunch, then left right away. Later, Amatsuyu went to the library for some peace and shared his complaints with Sumireko. Sumireko gave him cookies she made and listened to him. Amatsuyu told her that Sakura and Aoi had nothing special to impress Taiyu. Then Amatsuyu started to think maybe Taiyu likes someone else, and that shook him inside. At that moment, Sumireko asked for a favor in return. When Amatsuyu asked what she wanted, Sumireko said she wanted him to take responsibility for this year's student council library inspection. Amatsuyu agreed because he needed Sumireko's help. That same day, Amatsuyu decided to find out directly if Taiyu really liked someone. He stopped Taiyu during basketball practice and started talking. Taiyu got shy and was nervous about talking in that place. place. Amatsuyu understood and suggested they go somewhere quiet. Then they both sat in the yard, on the famous bench. There, Taiyo finally said he likes Sumireko. He remembered an event from a year ago when, after a bad baseball loss, he was crying, and Sumireko saw him like that. Taiyo explained that Sumireko comforted him at that time, and for the first time, he felt safe being weak in front of someone. Then he asked Amatsuyu to be his wingman, even though it would affect things with Aoi and Sakura. Amatsuyu hesitated and refused. He said he did not know Sumireko well and could not go against his friends. Taiyo then changed the subject and asked for advice about baseball, so Amatsuyu told him to keep working hard, trust his team, and build strong bonds with his teammates both on and off the field. After that, Amatsuyu found himself in a tough spot and did not know what to do. He immediately called Sumireko and asked to meet her in the corridor. There, he directly asked what she thought about Taiyo. Sumireko was surprised and made it clear that she only wanted to be with Amatsuyu. Amatsuyu still said maybe Taiyo was better for her, which made Sumireko angry. She pushed his hand away and told him to stop saying these things, and all she wanted was for Amatsuyu to talk to her and let her make cookies for him. At that moment, Taiyo arrived and misunderstood the situation. He thought Amatsuyu was trying something with Sumireko behind his back and got angry. Sumireko quickly fixed the situation and explained that Amatsuyu was there for student council work, especially for the library inspection happening that day. This explanation calmed things down. Taiyo was still suspicious because the atmosphere was tense, so Sumireko said she was worried because few people came to the library and she was scared it might get shut down. Then she looked at Amatsuyu with annoyance and suddenly left. As she left, her bag of cookies fell and Amatsuyu saw it. In the evening, Amatsuyu came home very tired and fell on his bed. But his phone rang and Sakura messaged him, saying she wanted to meet right away. Amatsuyu went to the restaurant and found Sakura sitting sadly. She explained that Taiyo told her to use her leadership and communication skills to soften Sumireko and set up a situation between Taiyo and Sumireko. Sakura also said Taiyo first asked Amatsuyu for help, and when Amatsuyu refused, Taiyo said he would ask the other friends for help. Sakura blamed Amatsuyu for betraying them and said if his intention was to lie, he should stay away from her life. Before Amatsuyu could say anything, Sakura stood up and left, leaving him there. The next day, Aoi invited Amatsuyu to her house and was also angry at him. She explained that Taiyo had come to her too and asked her to help with Sumireko. Amatsuyu tried to apologize for not telling her Taiyo's true feelings earlier, but Aoi started crying. The Aizawa line was skipped in the story here, and nothing more was clear. Aoi told Amatsuyu not to interfere in their matters anymore, then left the room angrily and closed the door. The next morning, Amatsuyu felt very alone while going to school because both Sakura and Aoi were angry with him. On the way, Taiyo suddenly came to him, saw his mood, and said that if Amatsuyu ever wanted to talk, he would listen, then walked ahead. At the same time, Amatsuyu got a message from Sumireko to come to the library. When Amatsuyu reached the library, Sumireko immediately said she knew about what happened with Taiyo and the two girls. Amatsuyu's anger grew. Then suddenly the library door opened, and Sakura, Taiyo, and Aoi came in. Taiyo saw Amatsuyu with Sumireko and accused him of lying that he didn't know her. Sakura and Aoi also accused Amatsuyu of betrayal and hiding things. Under this pressure, Amatsuyu lost control and said clearly that he kept trying for them, but whenever something went wrong, he was always blamed. He said they only used him as a tool, and that was why he was tired of it. Then he thought he should clear things up with Taiyo, but Sumireko interrupted and asked if Amatsuyu was really helping Aoi and Sakura. Why was he pushing Sumireko toward Taiyo? Amatsuyu could not answer, and Sumireko pushed further, saying Amatsuyu had said that whichever girl Taiyo left, he was thinking of getting her for himself. Amatsuyu started the protest, but Taiyo told him to apologize to the girls and then punched him in the face. Amatsuyu fell back and hit the bookshelf. Taiyo picked him up, put him over his shoulder, and warned him to stay away from Sakura and Aoi from now on. While taking him out of the library, Taiyo said he once wanted them to be best friends for life, but now he wanted nothing to do with Amatsuyu. Before the door closed, Sumireko quietly told Amatsuyu to trust her, and Amatsuyu started thinking about her words. In the next few days, rumors about Amatsuyu spread at school. People said he betrayed his friends and ruined their lives. This story was spread by a girl who saw the fight in the library. Then Sakura kicked him out of the student council, and Amatsuyu became even more alone. One day, while getting ready for the next class, Amatsuyu got a message from Sumireko to come to the library at lunch. She said she wanted to tell her real story. Amatsuyu wanted to ignore her because he thought Sumireko got him into trouble, but Sumireko threatened that if he did not come, she would make things worse. So Amatsuyu was forced to go to the library. When he arrived, he wanted to talk right away, but Sumireko told him to get a book from the shelf. While Amatsuyu was looking at the books, Taiyo came into the library and sat with Sumireko. Amatsuyu hid behind the books and listened to their conversation. Sumireko scolded Taiyo for spending every lunch in the library and not being with his friends. Taiyo avoided the question and said next time she should come watch his practice. Ignoring that, Sumireko directly asked why Taiyo trapped Amatsuyu by betraying him. Taiyo tried to act innocent, but Sumireko said after talking to him him for a week, she understood his tricks. She accused Taiyu of knowing Sakura and Aoi liked him, but he ignored their feelings on purpose and used Amatsuyu to help them. Then put Amatsuyu in a position where, when things went wrong, everyone would blame Amatsuyu. Sumariko said Taiyu planned to create distance between Amatsuyu and the girls so that, in the end, the girls would hate Amatsuyu. She also said that when Amatsuyu refused to help Taiyu with his love problem, Taiyu immediately switched to revenge. He joined Sakura and Aoi and showed them that Amatsuyu knew about their feelings, so Amatsuyu would look even worse. Tei tried to defend himself by saying Sumariko was also against Amatsuyu, but Sumariko explained that was just an act so she could stay close to Taiyu and get all the information. Sumariko explained that to win Taiyu's trust and understand his real intentions, she had to act neutral, and Amatsuyu heard all this while hiding behind the books. He felt very sad, and it hurt him deeply to see his old friend act like this. Sumariko kept asking Taiyu why he did this to Amatsuyu, so Taiyu admitted that it started in middle school. At that time, he liked a girl, and that girl asked Taiyu to set her up with Amatsuyu. Taiyu tried to make the girl come to him, but she chose Amatsuyu, and Amatsuyu did not even pay special attention to her. Taiyu tried to show the girl Amatsuyu's bad points, but her feelings did not change. Then Taiyu directly asked Sumireko if she liked Amatsuyu, and if that was why she was protecting him. Sumireko said yes, so Taiyu said he lost to Amatsuyu again. He said this was the perfect chance for revenge because Amatsuyu was now in the same situation Taiyu was in during middle school. Taiyu said he could easily turn the girls to his side because both were after him. Teo asked Sumireko why she liked Amatsuyu, so Sumireko said Amatsuyu was actually very kind-hearted. He was helping the girls, but his real concern was Taiyu's happiness, which was why he kept trying to convince Sumireko to go with Taiyu. Sumireko said that even though Amatsuyu was so selfless, Taiyu betrayed him, and that was why she could not care about Taiyu. Sumireko also shared that on the day of last year's baseball tournament, before meeting Taiyu, she saw Amatsuyu standing outside for a long time, holding Taiyu's favorite dish. Amatsuyu stood in the sun, and people were making fun of him. Sumireko said even today, Amatsuyu put Taiyu's happiness above his own wishes, without jealousy or selfishness, and that was what she liked about him. Then Taiyu, angry, said the library was empty at lunch, so no one would know what happened here. Sumireko stayed calm and said she did not need to run because she was sure Amatsuyu would come help her. At that moment, Amatsuyu came out and faced Taiyu. Taiyu was surprised to see him. Amatsuyu admitted that Aoi and Sakura treated him badly, but he warned Taiyu not to take the girl's feelings lightly and grabbed Taiyu's shoulder tightly. Amatsuyu grabbed Taiyu by the collar, lifted him a little, and harshly called him out. He reminded Taiyu that Sakura and Aoi tried hard for him, so he should not use the girls who really cared about him. Amatsuyu made Taiyu promise that he would apologize to both girls and never hurt them again, then let him go. After Taiyu left, Sumireko came to Amatsuyu and apologized for not supporting him earlier. She leaned in to kiss him, but Amatsuyu stepped back and said he could not forgive her so easily. He also said that now the Taiyu problem was solved, he had no reason to come to the library anymore. Sumireko said she would miss Amatsuyu a lot. Amatsuyu paused for a moment, but then walked away. The Deku and Hero costume part was not related to this story and was skipped. Later, while talking to Hina, Amatsuyu discussed which students could be chosen for the festival's flower dance. At the same time, he saw Aoi looking stressed at her desk, preparing for midterms, and she looked around for help. Even though Amatsuyu saw the chance, he hesitated, and Hina went to help first, which broke Amatsuyu's heart. Then Amatsuyu remembered Sumireko's words that he should take action himself to fix things, so he decided to go to Aoi. He stopped Hina in the middle and said he would help Aoi. This made Aoi nervous, and she ran out of the class in a strange way. Amatsuyu followed her to the stairs, and Aoi slipped and fell. Amatsuyu quickly went to her and asked if she was okay. Aoi, embarrassed and upset, told him to stay away and started to walk by herself. Amatsuyu gently stopped her by the arm and said he did not see her as a troublemaker. Then they argued about who should apologize first, and after a while, they both found their fight pointless and started laughing. After that, they agreed to be friends again. Amatsuyu said they would study together, but first he asked Aoi for a favor. At Amatsuyu's request, Aoi called Taiyu to the rooftop, and there Amatsuyu handed Taiyu a challenge letter. Taiyu thought the challenge would be something like baseball, but Amatsuyu set the real challenge as studying for the midterm exams. Amatsuyu said if Taiyu passed, he would win, and if he failed, Amatsuyu would win. Aoi suggested the three of them study together so Taiyu could prepare. Taiyu understood and tried to leave, but Aoi blocked his way. Then Amatsuyu gathered his courage and clearly said he wanted their friendship back. Amatsuyu and Aoi kept asking Taiyu to agree. Taiyu realized he missed their friendship too, so he agreed to be friends again. Happily, Amatsuyu went to the library after school to tell Sumireko and asked her to help with their study session. Sumireko agreed, but said she understood Amatsuyu's plan, and in return, she wanted him to take her somewhere nice. Amatsuyu had no choice but to agree. Sumireko also said they could invite one more person to the study group, hinting at Sakura, but Amatsuyu did not understand band and said the current group was enough. Outside, Sakura overheard this and felt bad, so she quietly left. A few days later, while walking in the corridor, Hina stopped Amatsuyu and asked if he had time. Amatsuyu said he was going to his study group, then remembered he had ignored Sakura. He went to the stairs where Sakura was sitting alone and crying, saying Amatsuyu never tried to make up with her. Amatsuyu quickly assured her that he cared about her and calmed her down with his words. That same day, everyone gathered in the library and started studying. Amatsuyu said at first he and Sumireko were going to teach everyone, but now that Sakura was a senior, she could teach better. Sakura led the study, started with math, and gave them a task to solve 5,000 questions for that day. Everyone felt pressured. Sumireko escaped by saying she would help Aoi with Japanese because that was her weak subject. On the other side, Taiyu was mentally exhausted by evening. In the end, the girls left the library satisfied with the study, and the boys were left tired from Sakura's hard questions. Then, Sakura announced she would prepare 8,000 English questions for the next day. After Sakura's announcement about the 8,000 questions, everyone started joking and laughing, and a smile appeared on Amatsuyu's face. He thought to himself that he would try his best to keep this new, happy, and friendly atmosphere going. While he was lost in thought, he saw his friends walking ahead. Then, as they all walked home, they kept talking, and their friendship grew stronger. The midterms finished, and the results came out. On the way to school, Aoi happily came to Amatsuyu. She told him that both she and Taiyo had passed. In her excitement, she slapped Amatsuyu's back hard, then hugged him, and Amatsuyu let it go because he saw her happiness. When they reached school, Amatsuyu got a message from Sakura saying she wanted to meet him right away. Amatsuyu was still in that mood when Hina stopped him. She seriously said she had something important to say and took him to a quiet part of the school grounds. Amatsuyu started to remember those old strange moments and sat down near a bench, thinking something else was about to happen. But Hina directly accused him of playing with the girls and messing with Aoi, Sakura, and Sumireko at the same time. Hina said that during last year's baseball game, when she was reporting, she saw Amatsuyu staring at a girl, and she considered that proof. Then she showed Amatsuyu some pictures she took of him with those girls and presented them in a wrong way. Amatsuyu explained and denied it, but Hina stuck to her point. She also showed him a draft of an article for the school paper and said she wouldn't use real names in the final version. She told him she would watch him until the flower festival, and then, depending on what she saw, she would either prove him innocent or reveal his truth in front of everyone on festival day, when parents would also be there. Amatsuyu walked with Hina toward class in the corridor. On the way, they met Sakura, who reminded Amatsuyu about their planned meeting and mentioned her earlier message. Hina immediately noticed something was going on, but Sakura quickly changed the subject. She said she actually wanted to talk about Amatsuyu's selection for the flower dance. Sakura explained that she, Aoi, and a first-year student named Kamada were also chosen. She said she had refused the invitation before, but now she wanted to take part happily. During all this, Hina kept watching them closely, and Amatsuyu started to get annoyed by it. Amatsuyu told Hina to give him some space because her constant watching was annoying him. That day at lunch, Amatsuyu brought up the problem to his friends, saying Hina was following him, but none of the girls wanted to stay away from him because they thought it was all unnecessary drama. Sumireko said the problem should be solved directly, but Amatsuyu felt that explaining things to each one would not help. He asked Taiyo for support, but Taiyo said he would not get involved because he had other things to do. Amatsuyu got angry that Taiyu did not understand him. Still, Amatsuyu had lunch with his friends. After lunch, Taiyu went to baseball practice, so Sakura asked Amatsuyu what he would do after noon. She said she was going to tell Kamada about the flower dance and wanted Amatsuyu to come along so he could meet Kamada and get to know her better. Amatsuyu hesitated and did not want to get more involved. Sakura started crying and forced him to come with her. Amatsuyu still set the rule that their relationship would only be senior and junior. After school, Amatsuyu walked with Sakura, and Hina followed behind. On a normal day, this would be usual, but today, Sakura suddenly snapped at Amatsuyu and scolded him for being late. Hina saw this and got even more interested, and on the way to Kamada's class, she tried to get more information from Sakura. Outside Kamada's class, Sakura saw Kamada and told Amatsuyu to go and talk to her. When Amatsuyu approached, Kamada quickly stepped back and nervously said he should keep his distance. She mentioned the rumors spreading among the first years, especially the strange things being said about Amatsuyu. Hina saw this and started to doubt her earlier ideas because she could not understand why any girl would want to get close to a boy with such rumors. Later, news came that Kamada refused to participate in the flower dance, and Sakura sent a message to Amatsuyu about it. Then Hina came to Amatsuyu and said that even though her case against him was now weak, she still wanted to keep following him. Amatsuyu was surprised by this new interest, but he agreed. Then both started thinking about who would fill the empty spot in the dance after Kamada's refusal. While talking, Hina hinted that maybe she could join the dance herself, which made Amatsuyu hope they would dance together. They were discussing different possibilities when Sakura sent a message. Sakura said she found a replacement for Kamada, which made Amatsuyu feel better. Near lunch, Amatsuyu and his friends gathered, and Sakura shared new information. She announced that Tai would take the third spot in the dance and had already agreed. agreed. Taiyo, who was usually busy with baseball, joined in with interest this time. In the next few days, everyone practiced the dance, and they even convinced Sumireko to join them. During this time, Hina felt bad because, for some reason, she could not join the dance, and when she saw everyone else enjoying together, she felt left out. A week before the festival, some girls from class brought the school newspaper to Amatsuyu's desk. On the front page was an article with accusations. Amatsuyu was surprised and asked why. Sakura quickly came and said it was fake news, but this only made the class more suspicious, and people started to think Sakura might be one of Amatsuyu's 3 girls. Before things got worse, Hina came into the class and said she never planned to publish the article. She explained she had not confirmed the information, so it should not have been released, and then the class believed it was false. Even so, one girl in class angrily said if there was any truth in the rumors, she would not forgive Amatsuyu. Later, Hina felt sorry about the trouble and apologized to Amatsuyu. She said maybe her article was accidentally included with things ready to be published. Amatsuyu understood and forgave her. Meanwhile, Sakura said if she stayed away from Amatsuyu for a while, maybe things would get better. Then Sumireko told Amatsuyu that Hina and Taiyo also decided to stop their usual meetings in the library. Later in the library, Sakura told Amatsuyu they should stop meeting and practice the dance separately. Amatsuyu was about to say something, but Sumireko interrupted and said keeping some distance for a while might be better for everyone. Sakura immediately left the library and told Amatsuyu not to come for now. That evening, Amatsuyu sat alone in an empty classroom. Hina came to him, saw his condition, spoke kindly, and said she would do her best to fix things and clear Amatsuyu's name. Amatsuyu did not say much, quietly picked up his things, and started to go home. Hina asked about dance practice, and Amatsuyu said they canceled it. This made Hina feel even more regretful that she caused more trouble for Amatsuyu. Hina kept blaming herself, but Amatsuyu comforted her and said he knew Hina did not mean any harm. She was just worried. Then Hina offered to practice the dance with Amatsuyu herself to help fix things. Seeing her good intentions, Amatsuyu agreed, and slowly, a new friendship started to form between them. The day of the flower festival arrived. After a week of being alone, Amatsuyu felt pretty sad. His friends had been strangely absent during this time, and he wandered around school by himself. The same girls from class came up again and threatened that if the newspaper scandal turned out to be true, they would not forgive him. Amatsuyu was already under pressure. At that moment, Hina arrived and stood up for Amatsuyu in front of them. Amatsuyu felt grateful to Hina because she was the only one who stood by him during this tough week. Then Hina told Amatsuyu her plan. She would hold back the controversial article until the second day of the festival, so his performance would not be ruined on the first day. She also wished him good luck for the dance. At that moment, Amatsuyu got a call on his phone. Taiyo was calling and said he was outside the principal's office. Taiyo explained that the school had a problem with having 2 boys in the flower dance. He apologized and said because of this, he was dropping out of the dance, and now a girl would have to take his place. Taiyo told Amatsuyu not to worry, he would try to solve the problem quickly. When Amatsuyu heard this, he started thinking and remembered the dance practice he did with Hina. Amatsuyu remembered that he had practiced with Hina, and their communication had improved, so he went to Hina and asked if she could join the dance in Taiyu's place, because now she was his last hope. Hina immediately agreed, and this was not just about filling a spot for her, but a big chance. Amatsuyu was about to call Sakura to update her when the student council president, Sakura, arrived. She said she had been looking for them and had heard their conversation. She asked Amatsuyu if he was really finalizing Hina as the replacement. Amatsuyu said yes. Then Sakura invited Hina to the student council room for a private talk and hinted that there were things that should not be discussed in front of Amatsuyu. Hina still said Amatsuyu should come along, and after some hesitation, Sakura agreed. The atmosphere in the council room was quiet and tense. Then Sakura clearly said she was vetoing Hina's participation in the dance. She reminded Hina that her first priority should be to write and spread a statement in the school newspaper denying the things being printed against Amatsuyu, so his reputation would be fixed. Sakura said Amatsuyu's reputation had to be put above personal wishes. Hina still stood by Amatsuyu's innocence and refused to agree with Sakura. Hina even threatened to bring up the disagreement in the newspaper, but Sakura did not change her decision. Sakura accused Hina of misleading everyone, including Amatsuyu. She scolded Hina for not being present at important times, especially during lunch, when she could have understood the real situation. Hina said she was busy with newspaper work, so Sakura replied that this work could have been done in the library. Then Sakura explained that in the last week, she secretly talked to students and found out that the troubling rumors about Amatsuyu were spreading mainly during lunch, mostly among first years. Hina said she had nothing to do with it, so Sakura brought up another point. She said that even though Hina was not directly responsible for printing the leaked article, Sakura was sure that after school, the day before, Hina had tampered with the newspaper articles. Sakura also said she got the original key sheet from the newspaper room, and right after the article spread, Hina's name was clearly on it. When Sakura became suspicious, she immediately went to the newspaper room and got a copy of the key checkout log. Then, in class, she purposely mentioned the newspaper room in front of Amatsuyu to see Hina's reaction. Hina got nervous and quickly quickly took responsibility, which made Sakura's suspicions stronger. Sakura then officially requested the current key sheet for inquiry and became sure that Hina had really made changes. Sakura also said she spoke to the school president, who confirmed that Hina played a role in raising the objection about the flower dance. Then Sakura talked to Hina about her real intentions regarding Amatsuyu. Sakura said that in the beginning, Hina wanted Amatsuyu to be separated from everyone so she could keep his attention for herself. But when Amatsuyu was chosen for the flower dance, Hina's goal changed. Now Hina wanted to join the dance herself to get close to Amatsuyu, and she had bigger plans in mind. When the evidence became too much, Hina finally admitted it and explained that last year, during a baseball game, Amatsuyu saved her from a flying ball, and after that, she started to like him. The conversation in the room became tense, and Hina said she was the only one who had the right to be with Amatsuyu. Amatsuyu told everyone else to leave them alone so he could talk to Hina separately. Sakura interrupted and said Hina's attitude was wrong and explained that relationships should not be like that. Hina lost control and, crying, told Amatsuyu that she liked him and wanted a chance. But Amatsuyu could not return her feelings. He clearly said he did not love Hina and then let out all the anger that had built up over the past days. He blamed Hina for all the trouble and told her never to come in front of him again. Hina calmed down, apologized to Sakura, and said she was going to fix the newspaper problem, just as Sakura told her to. Then she left. Sakura was left alone with Amatsuyu and gently said she understood he had to be harsh to push Hina away. Amatsuyu nervously changed the subject and worried about the flower dance. Sakura told him that she, Aoi, and Taiyu had arranged a replacement for the dance. At that moment, Sumireko came into the room. The last line, which was obscene and unnecessary, was removed. The dance started with Aoi and Amatsuyu coming out first. Aoi told Amatsuyu that now she did not have feelings for anyone. After them, Sakura came and kept Amatsuyu calm with her presence, and it also became clear that she had known about Hina's hidden feelings. Then Sumireko came, and she looked so different that no one at school could recognize her. For a moment, Sakura worried about the whispers from the audience, but as soon as the dance began, everyone went silent and their performance impressed everyone. After the dance, Sumireko thanked Amatsuyu for helping her make friends and remembered the library meetings when Amatsuyu brought everyone together. Amatsuyu also said he was grateful to Sumireko because she got him through many tough situations. Then, hearing the applause, everyone went backstage. Sumireko thanked everyone, and they all decided to keep having these meetings and gatherings in the future. The next morning, on the second day of the festival, Amatsuyu woke up at home and noticed the atmosphere was unusually cheerful. His mother joked that she would not make his lunch today because she thought Amatsuyu would eat out with friends. Amatsuyu asked in surprise and learned that one of his friends had mentioned it. Then Amatsuyu turned and saw Sumireko sitting in their house's lounge. During breakfast, Amatsuyu asked Sumireko why she was there. Sumireko explained that she met Amatsuyu's mother by chance outside in the morning. They talked, and then she came here. When Amatsuyu asked more, his mother said she saw Sumireko at a shop reading her favorite book, and later also saw her outside their house, so she invited her in. During the conversation, Sumireko said she had tickets to the water park. They both decided to go there right after breakfast. Later, the whole group arrived at the pool, and Amatsuyu was happy to see everyone enjoying themselves. After a day of swimming, races, and games, they decided to get drinks. Amatsuyu stood in line at the stall and repeated everyone's orders loudly to remember them. The girl in front of him turned around and got annoyed, but then quickly became embarrassed because she realized she had mistaken him for someone else. She apologized and explained the reason for her first reaction. Amatsuyu asked the girl what the real story was, so she shared her situation. She said she once treated a boy very harshly because she thought he was creepy. Her words made the boy feel hopeless, and since then, he had been ignoring her. Now she regretted her behavior and did not know how to fix things. She asked Amatsuyu for advice on what to do besides just saying sorry. After hearing her, Amatsuyu said that often, a sincere apology is the first and best start, as long as it is honest. The girl explained that because of her, other people also started treating the boy badly, and she felt responsible. Amatsuyu said then, she should not stop at just an apology. She should go to the boy, talk with real regret, and try to fix things in a meaningful way. The girl asked if Amatsuyu were in the boy's place, what he would want. Amatsuyu first said just an apology. Then he clarified that an apology is the first step, but after that, she should treat the boy well in practice and support him in the future. Amatsuyu told her that if she made a real effort, she had nothing to lose because things were already bad, and any honest effort to improve would be a positive step. Amatsuyu got his order and came back, but the same girl stopped him and gave him a drink as thanks, then left. Amatsuyu put the drinks down with his friends and started to relax, but immediately the girls crowded around him, each wanting to take him somewhere. Aoi was the first to say he should go on the water slide with her. When Amatsuyu agreed, Sakura quickly said he should go with her. Then Sumireko also added her request. The girls started arguing among themselves, so Amatsuyu stopped them and said he would do everyone's favorite activities. This gave the girls a new idea. They turned it into a contest to see who could give Amatsuyu the most fun. Whoever won could ask Amatsuyu to do anything. Amatsuyu tried tried to say something, but they had already decided. Tae did not help teasing them. First, they went to the water slide, as Aoi suggested. Amatsuyu hesitated at first, but then started to like that everyone was trying so hard for him. Going up the water slide and sliding down, Amatsuyu enjoyed the excitement and the close company of his friends. As soon as Amatsuyu reached the bottom of the water slide, he suddenly realized his shorts were missing, and there was a risk that Aoi would see him. At that moment, Taiyu immediately jumped into the water in front of Amatsuyu and covered him, saving Amatsuyu's dignity. Next, it was Sakura's turn. She took Amatsuyu to the dolphin ride, but some kids came and started teasing them. Sakura got nervous and lost in her thoughts, then accidentally moved the dolphin away, leaving Amatsuyu sitting alone. Taiyu quickly came and sat with Amatsuyu, and the two went on the ride together, which made some people clap for them. After that, Sumireko took Amatsuyu to the hot water bath. She told Amatsuyu she was happy to spend time with a group like this. Amatsuyu also thanked Sumireko, saying it was because of her that he made up with everyone and they all got back together. Then Sumireko jokingly brought up some embarrassing things about Amatsuyu, but Taiyu arrived and changed the subject. At the end of the day, the girls asked Amatsuyu who he had the most fun with. Amatsuyu directly said Taiyu helped him the most and made the day easier, and jokingly declared Taiyu the winner. Then Amatsuyu and Taiyu laughed and walked ahead, leaving the girls behind. The next day at school, a new edition of the newspaper came out, denying the accusations against Amatsuyu and clearing his name. People at school felt relieved, and their attitude toward Amatsuyu improved. Then the same girls from class, led by Asaka, whose hair was now dyed black, came to Amatsuyu and apologized for their previous behavior. This apology affected Amatsuyu, and after some time, he felt at peace at school. A few days later, a new transfer student, Yuki, arrived. She went straight to Amatsuyu, kissed his hand in greeting, and Amatsuyu was surprised. Then he realized that Yuki was the same girl who was at the food stall during the baseball game a year ago. Amatsuyu remembered that a year ago, after a bad baseball loss, Taiyu was very disappointed. So Amatsuyu went to Yuki's stall and bought all the skewers there because they were Taiyu's favorite. That day, Yuki's gentle and kind attitude stayed in Amatsuyu's memory. Now, when Yuki transferred to the same school, all those memories came back to Amatsuyu. During the teacher's introduction, Yuki said her family owned a famous chain of skewer restaurants. Taiyo recognized the name and praised her. Amatsuyu kept wondering why Yuki greeted him by kissing his hand. In class, Asaka and Hina looked at Yuki with dislike, while Aoi smiled and hinted that she could tell Sakura and Sumireko about it. Later that day, Yuki came to Amatsuyu's desk, where Taiyu and Aoi were also present. She reminded Amatsuyu of the baseball day and thanked him, saying she wanted to repay his kindness somehow. Then she saw Asaka sitting alone and invited her to join the conversation, joking in a way that made Asaka immediately refuse harshly. Yuki smoothed things over and told Amatsuyu again that she was ready to do anything for him. Just then, the teacher arrived and everyone went back to their seats. During class, Amatsuyu kept thinking about why Yuki was so willing to help, and he felt there must be a reason behind it. After class, Amatsuyu was given the job of taking some things to the staff room, so he asked Yuki to come along so he could understand her intentions. After dropping off the things in the staff room, on the way back, Yuki talked to Amatsuyu in a very friendly way, which made Amatsuyu even more suspicious. On the way, Amatsuyu got close to a banana peel. Yuki immediately grabbed his arm and pulled him aside, saving him from falling. This sudden closeness made Amatsuyu forget his thoughts for a moment, but then he reminded himself that he needed to figure out what was going on with Yuki. Yuki broke Amatsuyu's train of thought and said she brought homemade lunch and invited him to eat with her. Amatsuyu did not have lunch that day, so he agreed, but he also decided in his mind to try to understand Yuki's intentions. Amatsuyu felt a bit guilty about Yuki's behavior, so he directly asked if there was anything he could do for her in return. Amatsuyu expected some condition, but Yuki simply said she was happy to serve Amatsuyu and really wanted to do just that. Hearing this, Amatsuyu's suspicion lessened and he started to learn more about Yuki. At lunch, Amatsuyu introduced Yuki to his friends in the library so he could see her true nature around everyone. After introductions, everyone except Sakura immediately dug into the food and enjoyed different things. Sakura hesitated because she also brought homemade lunch for Amatsuyu and was thinking about how to give it to him. When she gathered courage, Yuki quickly handed her lunchbox to Amatsuyu and Sakura's chance was lost. Sakura smiled awkwardly. Amatsuyu understood her feelings and asked if he could also try some of Sakura's lunch. Sakura became happy and gave him her homemade food. After lunch, Sumireko shared her homemade cookies with everyone and the mood improved. Amatsuyu ate so much that he could not move. In the conversation, Amatsuyu and Sun talked about their upcoming tennis and baseball tournaments. Sakura said she would arrange cheering and check the schedule so the two games would not clash. Yuki asked Amatsuyu what he was good at. Amatsuyu said he was not especially good at anything, so Yuki said he would find his strength with time. After lunch, when everyone else left, Sumireko stopped Amatsuyu. Amatsuyu quickly said he did not want to talk about Yuki because he felt he had finally found someone who liked him without conditions. Sumireko said she had no problem with Yuki's behavior, and she understood that it felt good to return a favor. Then Sumireko explained to Amatsuyu that that he often accepted things he should not, just to avoid conflict. She gave the example that Amatsuyu took so much lunch from Yuki even though he could not finish it, and before that, he accepted Cosmos's lunch for the same reason, so she would not feel bad. Sumireko said Amatsuyu's habit of trying too hard to please everyone could create misunderstandings, and people might expect things from him that he could not deliver. She explained that he needed to learn to be clear as well as gentle, and instead of avoiding situations, he should speak directly. Then Sumireko changed the subject and took a book out of her bag. She said it was one of her favorite books, and she wanted Amatsuyu to read it too, so they could talk about interesting topics together. Amatsuyu said he read slowly, but Sumireko said it was fine, and she wanted to hear his opinion after he finished the book. Amatsuyu thanked Sumireko and explained that after class today, he had to work on a school tradition, so he could not come to the library, but he promised to meet her soon. After school, when Amatsuyu left the convenience store, Aoi suddenly jumped on him from behind. Amatsuyu was surprised and pushed her off angrily. He rushed home, but then realized his bag was open and Sumireko's book was missing. Amatsuyu immediately went back and started looking for the book where he dropped it. At that moment, Cherry and Tsukimi arrived and asked what happened. When they found out about the missing book, they started helping. The three of them searched along his route and checked the store, but found nothing. Cherry and Tsukimi came back and said they did not find the book. They asked why it was so important, and Amatsuyu said it was a very special book for Sumireko. At that moment, Tsukimi took out the same book, a new book, to replace it. When Cherry asked about the book, she said she heard it was very expensive and mentioned an amount. Hearing this, Amatsuyu became worried because he thought he could not buy such an expensive book. He thanked Cherry and Tsukimi and left. The next day at lunch, Amatsuyu sat alone in the cafeteria reading a jobs magazine. He was trying to find a job to earn money. Amatsuyu's goal was clear. He needed to save enough money to buy Sumireko a new book. That's why he was looking through the jobs magazine. Sakura came to him with a lunchbox to cheer him up, but Amatsuyu kept focusing on jobs. Sakura felt bad. Taiyu tried to talk about school to get Amatsuyu back to normal, but Amatsuyu did not pay attention. Suddenly, Aoi snatched the magazine from Amatsuyu's hands. Amatsuyu got angry because it interrupted his job search. At that moment, Yuki joined the conversation and told Amatsuyu that her cousin had opened a new shop and needed immediate help, and the pay was good. Amatsuyu hesitated at first, but when Yuki told him the salary, he agreed. He knew he would have to stop going to the library after school, which was hard for him, especially because of Sumireko. After lunch, when everyone left the cafeteria, Amatsuyu stopped Sumireko. Alone, he returned the book and apologized for its condition. He explained that he needed to save money to buy a new book, so he decided to take a part-time job. Sumireko listened quietly and understood Amatsuyu's point. Sumireko surprised Amatsuyu. She said she did not want a new book. She wanted Amatsuyu to spend more time with her in the library after school. Amatsuyu was troubled because he also needed the money. After talking, Amatsuyu convinced Sumireko to accept his decision. That evening, Amatsuyu arrived at Yuki's shop. Yuki welcomed him happily and showed him his new uniform. Amatsuyu put on the uniform, feeling both excited and a little unsure.